you see, she's as classy as she can be. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. I say rise and shine, get up and go. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Grab a cup of coffee or espresso with the Long Island Breakfast Club show. Another cup of java or espresso. Another cup of coffee or hot cocoa. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show. It's the Long Island Breakfast Club show.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is Thursday, my favorite day of the week. I have not been around for 3 weeks. If you think I'm crying, I'm not, but I have watery eyes. I've had a bad 3 weeks, but getting better 1 week at a time. So today I have two very, very wonderful business people here. I have Ilene Gold Corina. Thank you for coming. Patient safety consultant and advocate at the Pulse Center. And she teaches patient safety, education, and advocacy. And when you attend her classes and all the things she has coming up, you will be credentialed. Does that say that right?
Well, we do give a certificate, yes.
Yes. So credentials mean a lot. And when you're over 50 at your age and you're looking to do something once in a while, if you get credentialed, you can wind up helping a family for their, older mother, father, sister, brother who can't do it themselves. So I don't know if I explained it right, but
close enough.
She's going to be talking about it. And I also have this lovely, beautiful Dana Connelly.
Hello.
Who has a very handsome son. He just graduated from Glen Cove High School, and he's going to St. John's. And she, for 25 years, has been a therapist.
Yes, I've worked with children with autistic spectrum disorders for it's almost over 25 years. And I've written articles, and I've helped so many families get through a very difficult diagnosis. When a child is diagnosed so early,
Yes,
especially to a new parent, it could be devastating. And
so these are important.
what I've been doing.
When the word spectrum comes up, what are we talking about? A lot of different things, right?
Yeah, I mean, there are kids that I've worked with that were classified as nonverbal, and then I started teaching them via Dr. Vincent Carbone's methods of MAND training, how to get them to approximate and then form words. And now I get calls and Christmas cards from their parents saying the kid will not shut up. And I'm like,
great.
See, you thought they were going to be nonverbal.
Right.
Nope, not on my watch.
Well, I think what you do is great. We're going to be
Thank
talking
you.
about a lot of things today, but
Yes.
the first thing we do on the show is we salute. Okay? Congratulations to both of you for the great work you do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to Bobby, the owner of this great studio. What do you think of the studio? Isn't it
I love it.
gorgeous?
It's beautiful.
Lots of rooms here. You can have different things. Bobby's a great person, and he works with our clients top of the line.
Do we get discounts on t-shirts?
You'll have to ask him that. I don't know. They have a little room next door that you could buy all kinds of beautiful bracelets, Christian things, crystals, candles. I mean, shirts, hats, everything. So we're happy to be here. Now we both got a little polka dot box here. Everybody on the show gets a loaf of Italian bread.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that is, that you were wondering what it is. And the reason for that is that we break bread with our clients all the time. And today you're getting breadsticks too.
Ooh.
So you have a snack on the way home, and then you also have M&Ms. So, you get to eat on the way home or eat here. But everybody always eats. So thank you for coming.
Salud.
Salute. The next thing that we do on the show is it is a special day today because it is the last day of July. Do you know what today is?
July
July
31st.
No, it's National Cherry Pie Day.
I did not get that memo.
So go home,
You
buy a
get cherry
cherry
pie?
pie.
You get us a cherry pie?
No, I got you bread because I'm
Okay.
Italian. And sometimes I do that. When we have National Ice Cream Day, I do get ice cream because that's my favorite. But go home and get a piece of cherry pie, bring it home, eat it with your dog, your husband, your lover, or somebody.
Mm.
And you'll feel good about it.
Eat
You
it
like
with
cherry
I
pie?
love
Netflix.
cherry pie. I do.
Eat it with Hulu.
Yes.
And then
Hulu.
you get that cherry pie.
Cherry pie. I don't like it, to be honest with you.
It depends.
Mm.
It's got to be like, has that sour tanginess,
Right.
and
I
then
like
the
the
crust.
Yeah.
So
That's what
today I want to talk about one restaurant anchored down dockside on the water. And it is a beautiful restaurant. You'll get delicious seafood. Jenny is the owner. If you go into dockside by the water, you tell her Valentina sent you. You will have the most delicious fish going.
Mm.
On the weekends, she has the outdoor part, and it's just a great place to go.
Do they have a band?
They have music from time to time. Most of the restaurants that we do sponsor us have a lot of entertainment.
That's nice.
And if you want to entertain at a restaurant, they come to me to who they should put in the restaurant. So if you have a gig, you let me know.
Okay.
We pass your word around. Do you have a gig?
I don't have one personally, but I know some that are great.
Okay, so that's good. And that's what we do here. We just all talk and things happen. So I know you, I think, since I know David Gusson,
Probably.
which is about 20 years.
No.
No?
I haven't been around that long.
Oh, come on.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
David is over 18 years
Yeah,
to me.
David is now celebrating his 18th year.
Oh, so there you go.
6 ads.
Right.
And a great group of people, and
Yeah.
everyone's getting very close in that group. It's really
Yes,
nice group.
it's very nice. Well, David Gusson is a positively motivational man.
Mhm.
When I lost my job, never did anything like this. And he taught me how to do this. He taught me how to network, how to be a queen bee,
Mhm.
and all this stuff, and meet all these great people. And then in between, you must have come in after that.
Yes.
And that's how I met this lovely lady. And how I met this lovely lady is we both go to the same
Physical
therapy,
therapist.
okay? And she's so sparkling and so sweet. And we started yapping, and there you go.
Yeah, I think the first thing I said to you is, "What are you in for?" Like it was such, like, because of just being and waiting in a
that
therapist's
whole thing,
office,
it sucks. Yeah.
you're just like,
And she's sitting there like this, and I'm
I
sitting
was
there,
in
my
so
hands
much
on my knees
pain.
and my back, and you know,
like my arm is dangling like a dead fish as I walk to the back of the room,
yeah,
and she's like struggling to stand
get
up,
to the back.
and I'm
room.
like, "You want to race? Come on!"
So it was so
go.
nice to meet her, and she's practically my neighbor. Yeah, we live very close to one another.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a nice show today. So let's talk about Pulse. You explain it better than me. Basically, senior citizens need the people that get credentialed, correct?
Well, we don't really stress credentialing or the certificate or the official training, because most people will be a patient advocate for their loved ones, and that's our focus, is to help people get out of the healthcare system alive, if that's what they're meant to do. Patient safety is our issue, and our focus is on safe patient care. We're going to be going on our 30th year next year.
Unbelievable!
Wow.
Congratulations.
A volunteer organization, and as much as COVID did a lot of damage, we grew because everything became Zoom. And,
Right.
There's advocates across the country, thousands of advocates now that are credentialed. I'm board certified as a patient advocate, and we work with the difference of what we do and what other independent professional patient advocates that are paid is that our focus is working with the family of the patient. So if something happens where you're sick or you need hospitalization, and you call Pulse, my first question is going to be, who's your family or friends who are going to be supportive of you? And then we encourage them to join the team to be your advocate.
It's a very
And that's our
important
focus.
question.
It is.
It's because how are they going to make any kind of progress or have any kind of comfort without the support of a team? And that team involves family members.
Right. And sometimes family members are not who you think they are,
And they don't get along.
and sometimes they are, correct?
Right, right. It
Mhm.
depends who the patient wants on their team. And if they don't have someone, then sometimes we can help them find somebody who's on the outside. But if they come through Pulse, we ask them to volunteer a few hours, even if they're professionals, because they have a right to make a living, the professional patient advocates. And but we ask for volunteers, and we have a great group of consultants that we go to, doctors and nurses who we work very closely with. And the work that we do has come from really the leadership in healthcare that talk to each other about medical errors and patient safety. They're not talking to the community. So our focus is educating the public on what the healthcare system and professionals already know about how errors happen. And then we could work with the patient and their family members to make sure that their care goes well.
Well, like an example of, I don't know if this is true, but I've been told when you're really that sick and have so many doctor bills, okay, and they keep hassling you from the hospital. Is it true you don't have to pay that bill? That there's a department?
I'm not going to go there.
No, I was gonna
But there is support for people who have a lot of doctor
Yeah.
bills. There's actually advocates. That's all they do, and they work closely with people who that their job is to help the patient get through the mounds of bills. But because that's not necessarily a safety issue, although it is
You don't go
an
there.
obstacle, right? It is an obstacle for somebody getting quality care. Because they may not go to the doctor, they may avoid their care because of the payments that they're
Yeah,
afraid
well, a
of.
lot of people do that, and also the cost.
Right.
And if people are on Medicare and not Medicaid, they're at a loss if they don't have a secondary insurance,
It
correct?
could be. It could be.
Medicaid, you don't have to pay a penny.
Right. But that's why there's experts with that do this and that can answer the questions and that can help the patients through that. So my focus is not necessarily, again, the billing, although
Yes.
we have people that we work very closely with. So I wouldn't try to overstep my expertise, I'll call it. But my work is really in communication and relationship building and substandard care that might happen because of the relationship between the patient and the providers.
Wow. So, like, when a patient calls you, you have to give them like an intake interview, basically in person or on the phone.
No, everything's on the phone now. I rarely meet people in person. I mean, my full-time job now, I'm actually a caregiver the last few years for my brother who has numerous disabilities and medical conditions. And I took over his care when I realized he's all over the place with his medical care treatment. And I knew that I needed to be part of this. So my full-time job now my pay job is working with him,
Mhm.
which is completely educational, like I never thought, because now I'm
In the middle,
experiencing-
right?
I'm experiencing what I've been telling people to do for years. And although I've been encouraging people to be an advocate, and I do advocacy work for the last 15 years at the bedside. When somebody would call years ago, I would stop everything, go to the hospital, whether it's
Mhm.
across country or wherever it had to be, to see what happens and see what works. And that's where the training came from, is actually doing this work. And that's where my book comes in, is on that, part of that training. But the idea now is that we get people to work closely in as patient advocates for each other, help each other out, and get through the healthcare system.
So I love the book. It's Rants of a Patient Safety Advocate. And is this only by you, this book?
This is my book. It's from my blog. I have a blog online on my personal website. Is a link to my blog. Since I think 2010, I started the blog, trying to keep track of some of the experiences.
That's a great idea.
And then David Halpern, who edited, pulled the stories that he liked the best from there, and we made a book out of it. And it's actually the second edition. The first edition had less stories, and now this is.
It seems to be it's by being a patient advocate, you really have to be the watchbird for the patient.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
But it's also that we don't take over for the patient. It's a very fine line that we teach about not taking over the patient's care, because we are not the patient or necessarily the
Right.
family.
And you still want them to have their dignity.
And their autonomy. Yes.
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 This
It's very
is interesting. Really, I like it. All different articles. This is very good for anyone over 50 to read this book.
It's anybody,
Anyone,
any age.
especially in the system.
Our
of-
training starts
medical.
with middle school on preparing to be a patient. We go into 12th graders who are graduating, they're not prepared to become a patient. They don't have their healthcare proxy form. They don't know their medical history. They don't know their list of medications. And this is what we prepare them for when they leave leave home, to be better prepared.
You mean 12th grade when they
12th
graduate
grade.
high school?
Yes, when they graduate
Yeah.
high school.
So now she has a chapter here on special needs, which is where you come in.
Yes.
Yeah. And,
But I just want to piggyback on what you're saying. It's so important for children at a middle school to high school level to know their family's medical history.
Yes. Yes.
And because if they ever have to go to the emergency room and they have to answer all of those questions, which there are a lot of questions once you go to the
Yes.
emergency room
Oh,
and they don't have the answer, they're like, I don't know if we have high blood pressure or diabetes in my family.
yeah, that's true.
And it's very important because if you want to undergo any sort of treatment, the hospital needs to know that.
Mhm.
And so they need to know it too.
Right.
Well, plus the fact, like, I've been in the hospital twice in the past 2 years, and I know I need a list of my medications. But the first time I went, I was in so much pain, I didn't bring them. And they go, "So what are you on?" Like, I can't remember,
Oh, I forgot that one.
And that's really
an
bad.
important one.
And I'm an adult, so I could see that.
And that's why mistakes happen. And interactions with medication, you could be having an interaction, and if you don't know what your medications you're on. So these are the things that we try to make life easier for the healthcare providers by preparing the patient to
I
enter
think
the
that's
healthcare
great.
system.
Now the take charge. What is that? It's just a logo or what?
No, that's the Take Charge campaign. Is 5 steps for safer healthcare. It started about we actually worked with Hofstra public health students during COVID, and they developed the Take Charge campaign. And the 5 steps, we have ambassadors around the country who are teaching this, and it's the 5 steps. It's first, and every month starting in March, which is Patient Safety Awareness Week, starting in April, we follow the 5 steps each month. So understand your complete your advanced directives, keep a record of your medical history and medications, prepare for your doctor visits, prevent infections, ask caregivers to wash their hands, and use an advocate, be an advocate for others. So in July, we're now doing step 4, prevent infections and ask caregivers to wash their hands. And it's just a basic 5 steps that anyone can do and that we encourage people to do to be better prepared as a patient.
I don't know if it was you that told me this, but somebody told me when they went to the dentist and he came back in after getting a phone call, she asked him, "Did you wash your hands?"
Oh, I hope so.
No, but did you
Could have been me.
tell
I
me
do it
that
all the time.
story?
Maybe.
She walks around with licorice.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my Twizzlers.
A big bag of licorice. And what do you say?
I just say, well, because they always say I washed already, and if I didn't see them, I'll say, "Would you do it again for a Twizzler?" And they always say yes. So it's just breaking.
And do
the
people
tension.
usually
Lottery
laugh
tickets,
to it? Or do
They
people
laugh
get
and
pissed?
they no, take the Twizzler and wash their hands.
Well, how do we feel about washing your hands and using hand sanitizer?
Well, hand sanitizer does not kill all germs.
Exactly.
It's the hand washing that we're trying to. But if we want to be realistic, if somebody uses hand sanitizer, it's acceptable before putting the gloves on, because if they say I'm putting gloves on and they've already contaminated the gloves. In a doctor's office, I wash down everything in the doctor's office, and actually they remember me from time to time that I'm the one who came and washed down. You sit on the paper, but on the sides, you wash it down. We had a clean wipe campaign in doctor's offices to see how dirty the waiting room is.
Who did that?
I was doing it.
Did you use a black light? Like what?
No, I didn't have to. It was right there. It was filthy.
Well, sometimes,
It's
it's like these
filthy.
fast food restaurants, they'll make you really cringe. I tell you, one restaurant that has clean bathrooms is Dunkin' Donuts, because it's the old
Which
ladies,
location?
West
There's one
Hempstead.
on every corner.
Well, when I lived in West Hempstead, they were doing my bathroom over, and I had no bathroom. So I used to go 3 times a day, and I would bring my own pail and shovel in case I had to clean, but it was always very clean. So the West Hempstead Dunkin' Donuts is very clean.
All right, mark it
I
down.
hear what you're
kids.
saying. I mean, this is scary.
People say, "Oh, kids eat dirt." So yeah, they eat dirt, but it's not necessarily the right thing to do, and there's not necessarily the germs in the dirt that they're going to get from the hospital or from the doctor's office. So people go into a doctor's office because they're sick, and those germs go from room to room. Doorknobs, we have to be very careful.
It's true.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I carry a little.
It's
a little
absolutely
Ziploc
true.
with my wipes.
That's
I'm not
great.
Very inconspicuous. but I make sure everything is washed
Mhm.
down before I.
Now, some
it's-
people who have OCD, they do that even more, no matter what they do.
Well, I
Oh,
would. I would
but
even.
I'm not going to name any names,
Right.
but I have I have a friend who is OCD.
But it's important what
And
she's talking about.
she cannot leave the house unless she touches the burner on her stove 5 times in a row.
Yeah, so
And
that's
I'm like,
OCD, yeah.
I'm like, we have to go. We're late.
Yeah, I
This
say
is
that a
why
lot.
you're always late.
Yeah.
What's the matter with you? And
You gotta laugh, though, you know?
yeah, well, I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't see the point touching each burner, and you have to do it 5 times.
Well, it's a
Where do you
habit.
get that number from?
It's a habit.
But when it comes to sanitizing a medical environment or, a home care environment, there are so many missteps that people seem to take. And, from not covering your cough to
Yep.
not sneezing into your elbow. But here's one of the things that I recommended to the families that I worked with. When your kid comes home from daycare, they are a petri dish.
Mhm.
Take their clothing off. That was their school clothing. Give them clothing that they can play in outside or around the house. And make sure they shower
Yeah.
that night. Wash the germs off of them, because just doing this with your hands, it's not enough.
Mhm.
And not for nothing, kids especially, some adults too, they shove their fingers up their nose. They're picking something out of their teeth. And then what are they doing? Wiping it on their
Well,
sleeve.
it's very true.
I mean,
even babies, they're
Yes.
touching all that stuff.
and so it's like, change the clothing, whether it's an adult or a child. Make sure that the new clothing is fresh clothing. Please
Yeah,
don't
no.
put on something from the day before just because you didn't do the laundry that day. It's really important. But are we going to create a completely germ-free
No,
world?
it's not gonna happen.
It's not possible. And there is something to be said about having the immunity to the germs that we're exposed to.
Mm.
Now, for somebody whose immune system is compromised, that's a completely
Yeah,
different
That's
story.
what I have. I catch everything everybody else does. It's terrible when you have an immune system that's compromised. I'm not sick now, but
I'm not sick now.
I could be
either.
next to someone and they have a sneeze and I have the sneeze. Well,
Our
what you
focus-
do is great, but I mean, what about like the hospitalization kind of thing, where you have an old woman that one doesn't want to go to the hospital. Her daughter tries to talk to you for help. How do you help?
Well, our focus again is safety. So the question is always, after somebody tells me their long story about their parent doesn't want to go to the hospital and they're sick, it has to be, well, how am I going to help you? What do you need from me or from
Right.
Pulse that we can help? We are not there to drag somebody to the hospital,
Right.
to get them to the hospital, but we can open up the dialogue of tell me what's on your mind, and it might be private from the daughter. So a lot of adult children think that they can be helpful to their parents by going in. I've heard many people say, I'm not letting my mother or father go into the doctor and speak without me. They're not going to know what they're talking about. They have a bad memory, but they may want very well to speak without you there. And it might be private. So they don't necessarily have to speak to the doctor naked, but they can have a conversation with their doctor, talk about what's on their, maybe they're sexually active and they don't want to talk in front of the child.
Well,
So-
a lot of seniors are.
yeah, they're that's that.
Good
Those
for
germs are
them.
running rapid.
Hey, the assisted livings have diseases in there a lot.
I know the STD rates
Yes.
are rampant in
It's funny, but
the-
it's not.
the elderly community.
It's true.
It's not funny.
No, but you have to laugh a little bit,
Yes.
But and so basically you're saying is, do you get called to you need to make it safe in the house? Do you
Well,
do
we
that?
don't really focus on safety in the home other than falls, medication
Right.
safety. That's a very serious problem. Medication safety. Preparing for the hospital might be preparing your medications at home,
Right.
knowing what medications you're taking, listing your medications, preparing the questions. We could prepare a month ahead the questions we're going to have for the doctor that the appointment's in
Right.
December, but I want to talk about this. Let's make a note of what we're going to talk about in December. So it's preparing at home.
And each client has a folder, or you keep all this,
Oh,
or
I don't
no?
have clients. We don't have clients. At
So
Pulse.
it's not a client,
short
right?
term. No, we're very short term.
It's really advice and going telling them what how-
them through.
Mhm.
When I did do clients years ago, and I did have clients, yes, the goal is to grab a marble notebook and start writing information and keeping a list of information and what are their thoughts and wishes and expectations and
Right.
what what did they say that the doctor said. So you write all that down and keeping that list. And that's what a family member can do. When mom comes home from the doctor and says, I can't believe the doctor said I have such and such and I have to go do this and now do the medication. Grab a book and start writing.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to remember that, whether they're elderly or not. It's not about age.
But at
No.
least they can pass it along to a medical professional
Mhm.
when the situation arises. And it's something that can go in their go bag, per
Right.
se. Like,
Mhm.
the change of clothes, change underwear, socks, communication notebook. Get it in there so that way if they do have to go somewhere, they just slap the bag on or somebody takes it from the closet.
Yeah.
And then the information is there, and it's so important for the medical professionals who have probably never met this person before.
Right.
So how are they supposed to make any of these guesses
Right.
about, oh, well, what's your medical history? Here you go. Open my bag. They could do that.
Yeah. What about recommendations? Do you make recommendations on which a doctor or hospital or assisted living? Or
No,
no.
sometimes we'll share how to find that
You give a
information.
list or something,
Yeah,
right.
well, the truth is on Facebook, you all these groups that you can say, help me find a doctor.
And someone will help you.
ENT, or-
Yeah.
there's all these recommendations. But the one thing I do recommend now, I suggest, I can't even recommend, is to use clinicians in the same system because of the portals.
You mean like the group?
The group, right? Because the family members using one from this group and one from this group, and then every time we go to the doctor, you have to print everything out. So
Mhm.
using doctors from the same group is very helpful to make sure they're all talking to each other.
But a lot of people don't use the portals because they don't know how.
That's true. So then they should have an advocate that helps.
Right. Exactly. That's gives you an idea.
Well, and then not everything's right in there, and not everything's in there.
No,
So
but
it's
to
not
have
in our
someone that
notes.
can understand.
But
Right.
also going through channels like ZocDoc or something like that to find a clinician that can cater to what your medical needs
And you
are.
could call now your
It's-
doctor and say,
it's
can I get a
very-
copy of the notes?
It's very
Oh,
frustrating
really?
though,
I
because
didn't know that.
sometimes you get somebody and they're like, oh, we don't take your insurance. And
Yes.
it's frustrating when, and I'm so glad you're an advocate for this, but I don't know how much you actually get involved in finding the appropriate provider for a person, whether it's close to their home, is it within their network, and it's frustrating for people who are giving the same information over and over and over again to different professionals, just hoping to get help.
Help is exhausting.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, if I didn't have
I'm lucky
my
I
daughter,
found our physical therapist.
yeah, I'm lucky to have a daughter and sisters, and I have a brain. But when my mother was alive, she had no clue how to do anything. But she was lucky she had daughters,
Mhm.
and that's the missing link that I feel is going on right now in the county, because you could call Social Security, you could
Mhm.
call aging, the Office of the Aging, you could call all this, and all you do is get a
You're on
message.
hold.
Yeah.
Doo-doo-doo.
And there's nothing we could do about that.
Right. Well, that's why we're hoping people will find out about us. We'll get people who are looking for work. And sometimes it's just a matter of a couple of hours to help somebody. Your mom, if you weren't available to help your mom and she needed somebody, she hopefully someday will be in a position where they can call and say, we'll match them up. And we've used people who have taken over and they become long-term patient advocates for people. that
Which is
we've trained.
great.
Yeah.
So when somebody is an advocate for you and they have to volunteer, what do they have to do?
Well, they're not volunteering for Pulse. They have to be independent.
Right.
We do have malpractice insurance, not that we need it because we're not doing anything that would cause that. But we do encourage people who are in their own business or independent, and they do sign that they are independent.
Right.
And the
Mhm.
people recognize that they're not working for Pulse. We
Okay.
recommend, we have a list of about 5. If you go through Long Island, we have about 5 on a list that we say, here are people that have taken our course. We can't say they're good or bad.
Mhm.
They've taken our course, and that's why we use these people. And that's it. That's why we use them.
Eileen, does this transcend to other states?
Oh, we had people from, I think,
New
7
Jersey,
states coming to our
Florida.
training.
Yeah.
We had this 2025 training, the 2-day training we did. We had, I think, 7 different states there, and Canada. came to
That's
our training.
terrific. And you've been doing this forever.
Well, our advocacy training started in 2006, and that has built up. And now we're doing it each year, to 1 or 2 days, because it's only 2 days because we bring in professionals from around the country that
Right.
speak. But yeah, I've been doing this for 30 years.
And Orange, didn't you just a year or two ago make it a national something day?
Patient Safety
Yes.
Awareness Week.
Yes.
Patient Safety Awareness Week is the second week of March.
Okay.
My son, that's when my son died over 30 years
Oh,
ago.
I'm so
So-
sorry.
So
This mission that you have, you started after your son
after my
passed?
son died, yes, from a tonsillectomy, he bled to death from a tonsillectomy.
Oh my goodness.
And that's what
How old was he? if
he
you
was
don't
young.
mind?
He was just 3, almost 3.
Wow, that had to be some
But the idea is
effect on you.
Yeah, well, the idea was that nobody ever asked me what I could have done different, or what could have been done different, and that's where Pulse comes in. Is we wanted people to learn, and when we found out, or I found out, that so many people had bad experiences, and medical errors were a leading cause of death in the country, and people weren't talking about them.
Unbelievable.
We needed to learn what was going wrong. And tonight I have a meeting on diagnostic errors. I'm working with a research group every Thursday. We're doing research.
Wow.
You know, you go
national-
into these facilities putting your faith and
In other
trust
people.
and, you know, acknowledging the fact that they have extensive training and clinical skills, but there's such a lack of people skills,
Yeah.
and they don't
Yeah.
give you the information that you're
Well,
not
I
only
agree with
hoping
that.
for, but
people
that you
skills are
need.
not there. And you know, I
They're not.
adore nurses. I have a good doctor, but the bottom line is, okay, they don't want to go out of their way. The nurses, the people in the hospital, they have so much work to do.
It's a revolving
A nurse
door.
has to do so
It's
much
like,
paperwork,
Get in,
and that's
and
not
go.
fair to the nurses either. But again, things have happened to me too. Just as prescription or trying to get in touch with the doctor in an emergency, you have to go to 17 different phone messages on, just like when you're going on vacation, where you can't get to anybody, or a hotel. So my belief is that our health system is in trouble.
It is in trouble, and that's why we're working very hard to make us more accountable, the patient more accountable. You know, we compare it to, you get in the airplane and they tell you to buckle up and all the safety
They
things
go
to do
off,
before,
right.
Yeah, before you take off. You go in the hospital, nobody's telling you what to do to prepare.
Right.
So that's, you know, imagine driving and only half the people on the road knew the rules of the road. Then we'd all be cracking up our cars. So when we go in the hospital, we don't know what's done to keep us safe, that they're supposed to ask us our birthday and name every time they see us, or they're supposed to check the medication every time. If we don't know that they're supposed to be doing this, we'll slip through the cracks.
Exactly,
We just need to know
definitely.
this.
And
So-
they're wasting time with all of the same questions over and
Oh,
over
repeat.
again.
Well,
What is your date of birth? What is
Oh,
it every?
well, they
What's
do
your
that.
first and
They
last
do that
name? How do you
because-
not
They have
know
to.
that?
They have to.
They do
How do you
that
not
because,
know that?
well, it's not a matter of knowing
It should
or
be in the
not.
chart.
It's
You
not
have
a
my
matter,
chart.
It's
Are you gonna
not
read
a
it?
matter of knowing it
They
or not.
want you to
It's
have it in your
because
head.
mistakes happen, and that's why they're asking. We should be welcoming them
That's true.
to
Yes.
ask me every single
Okay.
time what is
That's
my
true.
name and
That's
what
a
this
fair
is.
point.
Yeah.
Because I've sat at the bedside and
But
heard the nurse giving
like
the wrong
7
medication
times.
to the other patient. And if she didn't ask if that was the patient, then I wouldn't be able to say, whoa, wait a minute. Twice that
Well,
happened. where
I
was
just got
sitting with the patient.
pulled out by my daughter
No,
because I went to the doctor and he gave me some pain medication in my arm. She goes, "What did he give you?" I don't know. I mean, I'm admitting it. I should have asked. She says, "You don't know. You should have asked." I'm like, "You're right."
But they're telling you that after they did it.
Yeah,
Now you know, because we had this conversation today.
right.
That next
I'll
time they
never
give you
do that
medication,
again.
What are
Never.
you giving me and why are you giving it to me? Because if it was meant for somebody else, you just got the wrong medication. And until we could get people to realize that this is a problem, and
It's a
we
big
need
problem.
to accept that they're asking us these questions because of medical errors. And we have to be welcoming them to ask me the question. I had a parent that was in the hospital, and he was so annoyed that you constantly asking me my name. Don't they know? Yes, and they do know, and that's why they're asking you, because you need to make sure that they got the right patient.
Unless he was looking to date you or something, you know.
Right.
Maybe then it would have been different, right? So now, when it comes to this and the work that you do with the autism spectrum, it's even more difficult, right?
well,
for them.
I wouldn't say it's more or less difficult. It's just different. And I'll start off by saying there is no hood like the parenthood, because it is
I like
more,
that.
thank you, it is more difficult on the parents to get their children the help that they need. Now, it's interesting because if your child has allergies or asthma or, something like leukemia, you are on the phone, you are getting them the help that they need and making sure that they have those appointments booked. But when your child is expressing educational difficulties,
Right.
cognitive
Learning.
difficulties,
Right. Mhm.
that you just want to wait until they're a little bit older.
Yes.
Well, you know what? It's not an effective plan, because the whole basis of early intervention is that the earlier you get in there, the better.
Right.
And it could not be more true. But it is very difficult, especially if the parents, it's their first child.
Yeah, they're in denial.
And they are in denial. And then they have a whole slew of family members around them that
Yeah.
are like, oh, you didn't talk until you were 4. He's gonna be fine.
What about the school system? Sometimes they're not that helpful.
No, sometimes they're not. And that has, it's not to do with autism specifically. Sometimes the school system is just not helpful at all.
On a regular basis. Yeah.
But when it comes to getting a child the help that they deserve, getting them the proper evaluations, going through the appropriate channels through your Department of Education and parents, it's free. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's something that your child is entitled to.
At what age? When do they start? 3 now?
No, early intervention starts at birth.
Really?
Yes.
My son was born
Yeah.
very premature.
And I've had to evaluate premature children. I think the smallest child I ever held in my hand was born just shy of 2 pounds.
That was my
Whoa.
son.
Wow.
Under 1 pound.
And he the child survived. But I've been asked so many times, how do you evaluate a baby, not only that premature, but a baby? Like, what are you looking
Yeah,
for?
really.
We're looking for them to track.
Right.
We're looking for them to listen on both sides. We're looking for them to move their limbs. And that's how you evaluate an infant. But those evaluations continue throughout a child's evaluation process. And sometimes families don't realize that your child is crawling late, or they're dragging one leg
Yes.
behind them, or they're not using their opposing arm. Like, something is off. Do something about it.
Yeah, but sometimes a good friend will try and tell you that, and the parent goes berserk.
Oh, that's a whole different other story,
Doctors should
Valentina.
pick up on that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It is very
It's a
difficult.
touchy subject.
It is, because my son and I had a large group of friends, and moms and children and dads and children and all of that. And because of what I do, I would only say something if I was asked.
Right. You wouldn't
Because
just
if you
volunteer.
just go up to them and
You really should do this. Yeah.
there are some red flags here. You're thinking it, you're sweating, keeping it all inside,
Yeah.
watching them handle it in a way that you totally would not agree with. But if they ask, well, pour us a glass of wine, because we're going to talk about this.
But
I'm
that's-
ready.
Yeah, that's great. You're very, very expressive, and I'm sure the patients you have appreciate that, because especially the young ages, you probably get through to them.
Well, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I walk into their home, and granted, I'm in their home.
Right.
And so it's their territory, and I get that, and I respect that. But when I start doing things with their child in order to get them to move through their IEP goals, that's an individualized
Right.
education program
Right.
plan. They're like, I don't agree with it. He's not ready for this. I don't agree with this.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
well, let's try it together. Watch me do it, and then you try it, and then the child is completely composed when I'm trying to do it with him or her. And then the parent comes in and the kid's just like,
Yeah, the kids just don't do it.
and that's very discouraging for a parent, which I understand, which is why I spend time with the parents afterwards. And that's actually the most difficult time that I
You're telling
spend.
the truth.
That's the most time consuming, is trying to explain to the parent, here's what the plan is. What would you like to do differently?
Right.
But when it comes to behavior management,
That's a big one.
you picking them up or offering them a cookie when they're like just flipping out, that's not going to fix the problem at all.
Now, back when, I was younger, they didn't have a lot of the programs they have now.
Right.
But now this program where, teenagers that are not have social skills can get an aid to take them to learn how to do everything. That is phenomenal.
Take your kids out.
And they
Get
pay
them
for
out
it.
of the house.
But my thing is, how do you get on that list?
That's what I do for my brother.
There is
I was caregiver for him.
there
The OPDD.
the OPD, but that's what I was trying to think of.
How do you get the mother to arrange to get that so that they can hire someone so the kid has the social skills?
Well, it is a very long list.
Process.
Yes, and it's a very arduous process, which the families are overwhelmed as it is.
Right.
So just like going through the medical system, it's like just one more form, one more phone call,
And
to
one
make,
more
one
no.
more thing
Mhm.
to worry about. And
It
I
took me
really
2 years. It took me 2 years to get as a caregiver.
That's
I'm a
not
caregiver
bad.
for my brother.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was not using my advocacy skills. It was using my push to
Mhm.
get things
The
done.
common
And
sense,
actually, I
right?
had to go to the state senator to get us moved up,
Yeah.
which is what I did.
And
with
now,
my
can
son.
people come to you for that, or no? They don't come to you for that.
Oh, people come to me for
Everything,
for a
right?
lot of things. But I am still in touch with families that I started working with, and I call them my families because I'm not just working with your child.
Yeah, you're
I'm
part of
working
the
with
family.
you, and you got pregnant, you had another kid. Well, we have to get him used to that. And,
Right.
but I'm still in touch with a lot of those families.
That's great.
And these are children who were diagnosed on the spectrum, and the families were told they're never going to speak, they're never going to move out of your house, and that's so
Rude.
demoralizing.
It's rude.
It's rude and it's wrong. And I get videos from time to time of these kids in a band,
Yeah,
and they're
which
on
is such
tour
a good feeling,
one
right?
of the bands, and I'm like, go Sophia. And then there are other kids where they make progress, they learn their vocational skills, they learn how to self-help,
Well, that's
but
great.
they're not going to college. Then there are other kids
They
that
do go to college.
that
and
are going to
become
college.
quite-
Exactly. That's
quite
why
unbelievably established.
I can't let families feel discouraged. And
Right.
so because of that discouragement, it's going to balloon into feeding into all of these behaviors that are
Yes.
simply going to manifest into something much bigger,
Right.
more problematic for all of you.
Right.
I mean, as a parent, we want our children to be successful in what they're doing.
Yes.
Successful does not mean getting what you want
Mhm.
just because you acted a certain way. But I really truly believe that the stigma of any developmental disability, autism, Down syndrome,
There's so
anything like that, there is a stigma, but there is a way for parents to advocate for their child.
much. Not only that,
Just like you were
right.
advocating for your brother, and
And I think you get a camaraderie between other parents.
yeah, totally.
And that's how you kind of, oh, your kid did that. Yeah, oh yeah. And
Yeah,
it works.
but parents do that anyway. Not for nothing, but there's
No, that's
playground chat, and they're like, well, my little boy, he's reading an entire book right now.
We're
And
doing the summer series for Pulse. We do a lot of online
Mhm.
Zoom programs, 3 a month, and we're taking a hiatus from that over the summer. But we're doing every Monday the Pit. Have you seen the show The Pit? It's
No.
on Peacock, I think, and it's
I don't have.
it's an emergency room story. It's an amazing story, and one of the scenes, not one of the scenes, but it's every hour. Every episode is 1 hour in the emergency room.
That's something.
And one of the shows is
Is
very
it
realistic.
live?
No.
Oh, I thought it was
No,
like
no,
a reality.
No, it's not a reality show, but it's based on reality. And the doctors that were with us when we talked about it, because we're doing like a book discussion on the show every Monday, they said it's very realistic. And one of the episodes is an autistic person and how one of the resident doctor, is able to treat that patient.
That's great.
And we have on our website a whole study we did with children who are autistic and treating them in the doctor's office in the hospital. How that's
That's it.
done.
Remember that, guys. Watch The Pit.
And they come
what's-
on Monday nights.
Yeah.
Well, it's something that I do during my sessions is I always ask the family, I'm like, when's his next doctor's appointment? When's the next dentist or first dentist appointment? And as part of my one-to-one therapy with them, I will bring materials with me from a doctor's office or the doctor's kit. And,
Right.
like we practice so it doesn't all seem so foreign to the child. It's like, I'm going to check your
Great.
ears. I'm going to check your eyes.
Mm.
I'm going to check your nose. Oh, that's your nose. That's right. Did you just say nose? He said nose.
That's good. Well, listen, we have some slides.
Oh, cool.
We have some slides that we need to show. We have some information on the garage sale. What is it called?
It's a yard sale at
The yard sale.
South Nassau Unitarian Universalist Congregation. And it's bring your items. You can plan ahead to rent a table or bring your own table. It's only $25. And
So if you don't bring your own table,
then it's $45 if you want to rent our table.
right?
By August 10th, we're closing that out, trying to close it out by August 10th. It's a brand new room. It's indoor, outdoor. It should be great. And we have speakers throughout the day. We have Medicare speaker. We have somebody on estate planning speaking. So that should be great. That's September 6th, Saturday, September 6th.
And do we have
all
something
day.
else?
And we have our comedy show. Pulse is doing our comedy
What?
show.
Yes,
Comedy
comedy for a
for
cause.
It's going to be so much fun. Every
September
year we do that.
14th, we're going.
It's a lot of fun. You'll be there.
I'll
I
see
get
you
to
there.
meet you in person. That'll be great. That's always a lot of fun, and it's our fundraiser. We need funds to do our programming, and we hope you'll come to that. And then, of course, the Pit. We're doing the Pit on Monday nights. We're having our discussion group, and we'll send you
That's
that
online or you
Too.
go
It's on
somewhere?
Zoom. It's
Okay.
on Zoom. We have advocates from around the country who are coming on that.
So now, how do people reach you? What's your website?
Pulse Center for PatientSafety.org. Spelled out. Pulse Center for FOR PatientSafety.org.
And you can always call me. I'm always around, and she's always talking to me. And how do you want people to call you? This is an interesting conversation. And I think people with younger children, I see you have that dramatic, very good way with probably
Energy.
Thank you.
yeah, energy with younger kids. But I'm sure you do all ages, right?
Yes.
Right.
And let's face it, ABA therapy, applied behavior analysis, it's not just for the autistic population. I
Yeah,
use it with
everybody.
I use it with my mother.
Yeah.
I used it with my dog, God rest her soul. But no, the best way for people to get in touch with me would be via email at
Okay.
danajconnelly@aol.com.
And I understand that you act, you dance, and you sing. So
Don't
what are
do
you gonna
this to me.
What are you gonna sing for us? Because we're almost at the end. We got 4 minutes.
Oh, man.
Sing something. Something
Okay.
you love.
All right. My son calls this the princess song.
Okay.
Nobody look at me.
I love it. Oh,
A
that's good.
dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartache. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, then someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is beating, if you keep on believing, the dreams that you wish will come true.
Wow. That's very
That
sweet
was beautiful.
voice.
Yeah.
We might have to hire you for one of our little events. That was so soft and sweet.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
It's the princess song.
So listen,
Hi,
guys.
Mason.
Yes, that's for Mason.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
We
from
also have
Cinderella.
okay. Eddie Sessa. He's going to be tonight at, I believe, my favorite place, the Polo Lounge. Normally we go on Thursday night to see him. He's a Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
It's in Westbury at the Westbury Manor. We're not going tonight because I'm still getting over being sick, but he is a great entertainer, and the drinks and the bar is packed if you want to meet people, and it's a great night out. And then he is going to be also there Friday night. Usually he's only there once a week. That's Eddie Sessa and all the ladies that hang out at the bar. And they're all very special, and men hang out there too. And then Bob D'Amato, I believe, is coming up. He's going to be at, what's the name of that restaurant, Susan?
Rose.
Yes. What's the name of it? There it is. It's going to be at La Focaccia. And he is a 50s guy. He is a Bobby Darin guy. He is that Frankie Avalon guy. You go to his events, you just enjoy the whole night. Everybody dances.
That's cool.
Yes. And also, I think we have this Covert Street Fair, and Bob will be speaking at that.
Did you say COVID?
Covert.
I was like, oh, ooh.
Town of Floral Park, which is my stomping grounds.
I was in Belrose.
Yeah, he is speaking at the Memorial Park. He's singing 7:30, and he also is singing at Eisenhower Park on September 3rd. So he's all over the place. I actually know him from high school.
Oh.
And I know a lot of people from Floral Park because that's what we do.
I went to junior high school 172.
Yeah.
It's right
And
there.
we have a program that anyone wants to help a charity, come and sponsor the charity so the charity can come on and talk about what they need.
Mhm.
And that's a good thing to do. And a charity does have the expense account where they can pay for the motivation and for the all the things we do to get them out there on
Publicity.
the internet and the publicity. So anybody can sponsor a charity. Just give me a call. Anyone that would like to have something with me on the show, something as easy as getting engaged, we do on the show. We people bring their animals on. We just met a man in the pizzeria. He wrote a turtle book.
Oh.
He gave me the book,
Here's the turtle book.
and they're going to come on. So it's all about communication. So I need you guys, spread the word. Everybody tonight, go to Strong Island TV, go to the Long Island Breakfast Club show. There's the turtle book.
Turtle book.
This man, we just met in the pizzeria right next door. The book weighs a ton. So heavy.
And there's so many cute pictures.
And he's going to be on soon too. So nice man. The key to communication is charity. Communication is helping each other
Mm-hmm.
and also talking.
And Valentina, you are the easiest person to work with.
Oh,
So
that's
it is
very
such
nice.
a pleasure to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Your family here.
Oh, it is. And Bobby, he does a great job here. And we love coming here every week. And I missed it for 3 weeks.
And we get snack packs.
And you're all going home with Italian bread and M&Ms,
Italian
and,
bread, breadsticks.
M&M mints,
Oh, hand sanitizer?
hand sanitizer.
Pure mammography.
You always
hand
get, there you
sanitizer.
go. And mints.
We know Felicia from Pure Mammography.
You-
She's coming to the comedy show. She just bought her tickets.
Tell her I said hello.
And I will do that. I will
She
tell her,
should
give
come
her a
around.
shout out here.
And that is going to be a wrap. It's that time, guys. Thank you to our guests. Thank you for the sponsorship.
Thank you, Valentina.
And don't forget, watch, like, and share. Usually I have bowls and we throw the bowls, but the bowls are missing. So we're not throwing the bowls today, guys.
You
Did
don't
you
have
say
balls.
balls?
Yes, we usually
I
have
thought you said bowls.
bowls.
I'm like,
We
why would
usually
you
have
throw a
balls.
bowl?
I need to replace the bowls.
She's got no balls.
Yeah.
She's got no balls.
So thank you for everybody. See you next week. We have a very special show next week. A lot of professionals that'll be coming in. And I'm very excited because I think it's going to be great. We do fun, we do serious, we do fun, we do serious, we do wacky. Whatever you want to do, you could do on my show.
She points to you, but wacky.
So
Thanks
nice
for pointing that out.
for you
Eileen.
guys. Thank you, Susan, for making the table so pretty. The week we weren't here, the 3 weeks, it was blank. And the men took over, but the men did a great job. The Jerry Ferretti, thank you for doing the show for me when I couldn't move. So I hope I'll be here next. And that is a wrap, guys.
This was so much fun.
Thank you.